And here we are live again on YouTube. Welcome. Welcome to you all. We're going to talk a little bit today about quality of products, a passion of mine that we talk about made in this country, knowing where the raw materials are coming from, knowing the processing of what you're taking is quality. With the dawn of Amazon, and that was the headlines on the news this morning, that they now surpassed 10 or $1 trillion in sales. And the majority of you, I'm sure, once or twice or maybe on a regular basis are buying some sort of a supplement on Amazon. Why are you going there? That's the question. Why are you going there? Well, convenience, quick, get in a day or so, and price. Why is it that when we are concerned about, let's say, picking a steak for a special steak dinner with your spouse, that you go out of your way to look for quality? Or those of you that are in the organic world and you're going to buy eggs, and you will go out of your way to find a local farmer that's making organically grown eggs. But when it comes down to supplements, oftentimes we'll fall prey in those big box stores to that supersized stuff that's K-stacked there with 700 more bottles, and it's only $19.95. And I heard Len talk about fish oil, so I'm going to take this Costco brand. Now, the concern is not just, well, price, and this price everything. This study that I'm going to read to you today says that when independent laboratories went shopping, and they went to the big box stores, they went to Amazon, they went to the drug stores, they went to the GNCs of the world, they went all over the place and bought products. And they didn't just do it in this country. They went all through Europe and Asia and Australia and ended up buying nearly 6,000 different herbal products. And then they posted the results. And the results are scary. Especially if you live in Australia, but that's another point. But the concern here is, what are you buying here? Do you know? Is there a phone number on the label of whatever product you're taking that gives you a direct link to that manufacturer so that you can talk to a live person and get the answers? Do you have any quality control measures, dear manufacturer? Do you have certificates of authenticity, COAs, on that product? Can you give me a copy of that? Do we have an analysis done for purity and safety? If you come in here and you look at our fish oil, you're going to say, why do you like your fish oil? Right there on the shelf behind our fish oil, right there, is our certificate of analysis. Because if we're concerned about what else is in there besides fish in the fish oil, we want to make sure and guarantee you that if we say it has 900 milligrams minimum DHA and EPA together, that that's what's in there. And we can prove that. As with our CBD products, using Nutritional Frontiers, knowing that it's an organic sourced, I know where it's made, where it's grown, and how it's packaged. And the analysis that's done on those products give me the warm and fuzzy that if I recommend this, it's going to deliver. So let me read this article, this study, and hopefully I have time. I want to share with you what's been in the news recently in the New England Journal of Medicine. You know, I started to accumulate these things because I used to do a show every Monday that was just whatever is in the news. So let's look at this first. Fresh research utilizing DNA testing technology with the dawn of 23andMe and all the different analysis that are being done, including our neurotransmitter testings that uses DNA technology. Fresh research utilizing that technology has highlighted, quote, widespread, end quote, global adulteration of herbal products. It wasn't like I just ground this stuff up, measured it out, and put it in a capsule. I adulterated it. I changed it because that means what it says on the label isn't what's in the capsule. Almost 1/3 of all items tested, 1/3 of all items tested, 33+%, were found to be, here's a key word, fake. Now, you're going to say, maybe that explains why I bought that huge bottle of glucosamine chondroitin and I've been taking it for 6 months and it doesn't do a thing. Maybe because there's nothing in it. But you need to do your homework. You need to call and check. And what I do from my pharmacy perspective is that exactly, that I know if I'm recommending a brand or a product that I know what's in the capsule. The study was published in the Journal of Frontiers in Pharmacology. It's one that I get. Analyzed the authenticity of almost 6,000 herbal products sold across 37 countries using DNA testing. It concluded the content of a substantial portion, 27%, did not contain what was claimed on the label. It said 5 milligrams, it had 2. It said 100 milligrams, it had 70. You're being shortchanged. The research led by Dr. Michael Christin of the Romanian National Institute of Research stressed that the adulterated herbal products are distributed, quote, across all continents and regions, end quote. In Europe, God help them, the percentage of adulterated products stood at 47%, nearly 1 in 2. Higher than North America, here, where it was at 33%, Asia at 23%. And you're going to say, well, how come you always bash Chinese raw materials? I'm sure that somewhere along the line in Asia, there's got to be some reputable companies that are probably buying American-sourced raw material and packaging it that way. I don't know that. Australia, 79% of the products were found to be adulterated. 79%. Our results confirm the large-scale presence of adulterated herbal products throughout the global market. The adulterated herbal products contained 1, undeclared contaminants. Why, if you're a manufacturer, would you put contaminants on the label? That's something you want to take out. You don't want it there in the first place. Substitutes. You know, it's real easy to make a claim on fish oil and add some olive oil in there with it, or some canola oil in. Why? Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Filler species. Is this something that we used as a filler in the capsule to make the capsule appear full, that was a plant, that was something that could be metabolized by humans? Or lastly, none, N-O-N-E, of the labeled species. And they're going to say, this all may be accidental. Doubt it. Or intentional. More than likely. Economically motivated. Yeah, bottom line. The big box stores, Walmart, Costco, Amazon, we're looking to make a buck. Or just plain fraudulent, according to Dr. Icahn. He suggested that financial gain is likely to be the key motivator for the fraudulent sale of herbal products. Dr. Icahn said that of the 5,957 herbal products tested, all ALL were commercial products. They were bought by the authors of the report at a range of outlets, including traditional markets, herbal stores, health food stores, and supermarkets. They spanned a variety of categories from natural health products, dietary supplements, to plant food supplements, botanicals, and food supplements. All of the percentages refer exclusively to what consumers had to buy or use or consume, he explained. But this is about more than misleading the consumer. Mislabeling of herbal products and species substitution, that scares me. Species substitution represents a real health threat, he continued. The herbal products contain more than one pharmacologically active ingredient and are often used in combination with conventional drugs. Adverse reactions are due to herb-drug interactions can appear in patients taking concomitant herbs and prescribed medication, he said. So when people ask me, I'm on a antibiotic for an antiviral problem, can I take this along with it? I'm on chemo. Can I take this along with it? I'm going for radiation. Can I take this? I'm on blood pressure meds. Can I take this? Several common herbal medicines interact with drugs, including St. John's wort, ginkgo, ginger, ginseng, green tea, and garlic, and are affecting pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic properties of prescribed medicines. On the other hand, the common drugs that interact with herbal medicines include warfarin, the blood thinner, statins, digoxin, amitriptyline, indapamide, cyclosporin, tacromylus, irinotecan. Beyond concerns that consumers could inadvertently take a cocktail of active substances because they're not correctly labeled, the adulteration was also found to include other harmful contaminants and residue, the biological science experts continued. Besides adulterated species, the herbal products were reported to contain many harmful contaminants and residues, such as, here's what was in these. Dust. If I just stop there, there's dust inside your product. What kind of sterility are you using when you package these things? Pollen. What kind of sterility is your facility using? Insects. Rodents. Parasites. Microbes. I'm getting you sick, I know. Fungi. Molds. Mycotoxins. Pesticides. PCBs. Toxic heavy metals. Radioactivity. Processing impurities. Solvent residue. Illegal or prescription drugs. And I'm going to go back to when Reggie's Rice was first put on the market as a high quality product that could assist in keeping cholesterol levels where they need to be. And as soon as that Chinese product started making it into the country, they wanted to really make a bang. They started adulterating it with a pharmaceutical drug. Put a statin in there, which caused it to be pulled off the shelf. But the FDA is so overwhelmed in trying to protect you, and they don't do a very good job of it, that they can't really oversee this that much. Dr. Icahn continued, there have been numerous reported cases of negative health outcomes linked to adulterated herbal products. The most severe adverse reaction reported caused by the adulteration of herbal products were agranulocytosis, meningitis, multi-organ failure, perinatal stroke, arsenic, lead or mercury poisoning, malignancies, carcinoma, hepatic encephaly, hepatorenal syndrome, nephrotoxicity, rhabdomyolysis, metabolic acidosis, renal failure, liver failure, cerebral edema, coma, intracerebral hemorrhage, and death. Did I turn you off from Amazon? Now, I'm not saying every single product they sell is contaminated. I understand that. But do you know before you press send? I encourage you, what I love to do is if you took all of your supplements and put them into a bag or list them, send it to me, set up a time, we could do a review. The herbal product supply chain is extremely complex and contains various moving parts from consumers and retailers to processors, growers, and traders. This means adulteration and combating it is a very complex matter. This is published. DNA authentication of commercial herbal products reveal their globally widespread adulteration. Frontiers in Pharmacology, October 24th, 2019. Made in America. Now, Just want to finish up today with just, I'm going to go through these really quick. Some of the things that are in the news. This is all ALL from the New England Journal of Medicine. Number one, alcohol abstinence linked to a lower risk for atrial fib. I find this big misconception that most people think of alcohol as a depressant. Slows you down, makes you tired. Alcohol is a stimulant. Abstaining from alcohol may help prevent recurrent atrial fib, according to the New England Journal of Medicine. In Australia, 140 patients with atrial fib who consumes 10 or more standard alcoholic drinks per week were randomized to abstinence or control. Over 6 months, the abstinence group reduced the average alcohol intake from 17 to 2 drinks per week, while the control group reduced theirs from 16 to 13. Reoccurrences of atrial fib lasting 30 seconds or more were less common in the abstinence group. Number two, insecticide exposure tied to increased mortality. Greater exposures to pre-thyroid insecticides is associated with an increased mortality risk, suggests a study in JAMA Internal Medicine. Pyrethroids are commonly used in agricultural and residential pest control. They're also found in pet sprays, lice treatment, and mosquito repellents. Number three, White House to announce a ban of some e-cigarette flavors. Expected a ban on some flavored e-cigarette cartridges this week, according to reports. The ban will likely include mint, fruit, and dessert flavors, but not menthol. However, flavored liquid nicotine that's used in an open tank system, commonly found in vape shops, can still be sold. We think that we're going to get back into the market very, very quickly. President Trump said in a news conference, as reported by the Times, we have a very big industry and we're going to take care of this. Story number four, oral HPV infections commonly found in sexually active adolescent girls. Oral human papillomavirus is not uncommon among sexually active adolescent females, and the vaccine appears to be protective, suggests JAMA Network open study. Nearly 1,300 sexually active females aged 13 to 21 in New York City had oral samples tested for HPV at baseline. Roughly 6% tested positive. Nearly 2% were positive for oncogenic types. Risk for oral HPV decreased with increasing time since their first sexual experience. We're talking here, folks, about oral sex. Story number five, pediatric group offers guidance on bariatric surgery for these adolescents, 13 to 21. Clinicians should recognize that severe obesity is considered a high-risk condition that won't likely resolve with only medication and lifestyle modification. That is going to be number one prerequisite for surgery. The following adolescents may be eligible for surgery: patients with class 2 obesity of at least 35%. Pediatricians should refer eligible patients for surgery. Evidence doesn't suggest that watchful waiting is an effective strategy. Story number six, sterilization facilities closing could mean medical device shortages. That happened here in Atlanta. The FDA is warning that closures of several sterilization facilities in the U.S. could mean limited availability of certain medical devices. 3 facilities that sterilize medical devices with the gas ethylene oxide have either closed or threatening to close because of emission violations. That's a BD, Becton Dickinson. Story number 7, CDC advises close follow-up for patients with vaping lung injury. CDC now recommends that people discharged from the hospital with e-cigarette or vaping product use associated lung issue receive follow-up care within 48 hours. Story number 8, gabapentin and gabapentinoids linked to respiratory problems in certain patients. Gabapentin and Lyrica may cause serious breathing problems in patients who have respiratory risk factors, such as using opioids or other central nervous system depressants, having an underlying respiratory condition like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or being elderly, according to a safety study done at the FDA. I'm going to finish up with this one. The top stories for 2019. In the field of psychiatry, every study New England Journal Watch psychiatry editors chose for their top stories focused on improving clinicians' ability to treat patients. One study found that for post-traumatic stress, PTSD, meditation was as effective as any pharmaceutical. Top women's health story of 2019. The editors have chosen their top stories, among them more evidence that the optimal gestational age for delivery in low-risk multiparous women is 39 weeks. I don't think that's anything new. Top gastroenterology study for 2019. Randomized prospective study demonstrating no relationship between PPI use and the range of previously documented adverse events, with the exception of enteric infections. And lastly, over 40% of smokers don't get quit advice from their healthcare providers. Thank you, docs. Hey, tomorrow's our Saturday morning show. And it may not be a warm and fuzzy for you, but we're going to do a show on what's called peripheral neuropathy, a big problem in diabetics or anybody that's been through cancer therapies. Peripheral neuropathy. That'll be at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Make sure you're with us. We look forward to that. Again, the numbers to reach us here in the office, 678-228-8900, 678-228-8900. Our website is thenutritionshop.net, thenutritionshop.net, where you can access all our past YouTube live videos. All right, God bless you, folks. See you back here soon. Take care.